Good morning and welcome to the Thursday, November 30th meeting of the Board of County Commissioners. We do begin our meetings with an invocation, and today Commissioner Vanderwerf will be leading us in ours. Feel free to join us if you would like.
Thank you. Dear God, we pray for our political leaders and our public servants in El Paso County and throughout our community. May we serve the people with genuine care and compassion. We ask for your inspiration to always help us seek the common good. And may we be your instruments of bringing peace, justice, and harmony to our society. Amen.
Pledge. Item number 3.
Item number 3 is staff emergency items, and I'm unaware of any staff emergency items today.
Item number 4.
Item number 4 is changes, postponements, and notice of the next meeting. I'm unaware of any changes or postponements to today's agenda, and the next meeting is today at 1:00 p.m. for land use.
Thank you. And before we move on to item number 5, I do need a motion to excuse Commissioner Williams.
I'll make a motion to excuse Commissioner Williams.
Second.
That has been moved and seconded. Commissioner Vanderwerf.
Aye.
Commissioner Gonzalez.
Aye.
Commissioner Geithner.
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. That passes 4-0. Commissioner Williams is excused. Unless she's not trying to log in online, is she? Are we good? Thank you. Can we just confirm that Commissioner Williams is not online? Okay, thank you. Item number 5.
Item number 5 is the consent calendar consisting of items 5A through 5F6.
Are there any comments from commissioners? Okay, any members of the public wishing to speak on any items on the consent calendar? Hearing none in the room and none online. Okay, I'll bring it up here for discussion and or a motion.
Move to approve items 5A through 5F6.
Second?
That has been moved and seconded. Commissioner Vanderwerf,
Aye.
Commissioner Gonzalez,
Aye.
Commissioner Geithner,
Aye.
and the chair votes aye. That passes 4-0 with Commissioner Williams excused. Item number 6.
Item number 6 is comments by elected officials and commissioner liaison reports.
Okay, let's begin with, are there any countywide elected officials online? And none in the room. Okay, Commissioner Vanderwerf.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. Just a few announcements. I guess things are a little bit lighter this week, but we've had a pretty busy beginning of the week. This evening, I'll be going to the Military Affairs Committee holiday reception, and tomorrow I'll be attending the General Van Herk retirement ceremony, the current commander of NORAD Northcom. And then also on Sunday, I will go to the 4th ID Fort Carson holiday reception at the Cheyenne Mountain Resort. And on Monday, I believe we do have a Pikes Peak Workforce Center board meeting. Looking forward to that. And then, of course, on Tuesday, we'll be back to our next Board of County Commissioners meeting. I just want to express appreciation to my fellow commissioner colleagues for the great work that I feel like we did at CCI this week. A lot of interesting conversations. We have a new executive director, and we are, in fact, starting to set our preparations for the next legislative session. And there were a lot of very interesting conversations about that, and also a lot of conversations about what happened to us here recently at the special session. And I do want to talk just very briefly about one particular law that was signed into law by the governor this week, and that's the law creating the property tax task force. And I just want to express my concerns about this law because while on the one hand, the law does set several people from communities across Colorado to try to determine a future pathway forward for property tax, I just simply want to say that several things that have happened in the legislature recently caused a lot of self-inflicted wounds, should not have happened. And when Gallagher was detached from Tabor, there should have been companion legislation to put a replacement into place at the exact same time, and that was not achieved. So that is why we now are in a crisis regarding property taxes. And this law is an attempt to try to figure out how to resolve this. The unfortunate consequence of that is it is pretty likely, based on the appointments that were set in that law, that there will not be a representative from the Colorado Springs, El Paso County area, the largest county in the state of Colorado and the second largest city in the state of Colorado. And I would be exceptionally disheartened at that prospect if it comes true, that we won't have representation on that task force. So if that does happen, I just ask citizens to pay attention to this. It's my understanding there will be an opportunity to provide public testimony at meetings for this task force, and I would encourage you to do that and tell your story about the harm that actually is being done because of these recent forms of legislation from the state government. I intend on testifying, and I have some ideas and proposals which I'll discuss at a later time. But I am concerned about the appointments of that task force. So thank you very much, and those are my comments.
Thank you. Well said, Commissioner Vanderwerf. Commissioner Gonzalez.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So to start off, I thought it was an excellent CCI, Colorado Counties Incorporated Conference this past several days. A lot of good things done, good updates and information. Also, we'll be attending the MAC Christmas reception tonight for the Military Affairs Council for the Chamber, the 4th Infantry Division's reception on Sunday, and then I did also want to make a comment, follow on to the special session comments at the CCI. We got an update, received an update and did have the governor come out and speak as well. So was concerned during one of the meetings where they talked about one of the states, I believe was a budget leader, senior staffer spoke, gave some concerns that maybe this task force 3 months isn't enough time. Well, it's been 2 or 3 years. And so for the state to be ignoring what was going to happen, something everybody saw once they took Gallagher away, this was going to be the result. So this is not any short-term concern or crisis. This is years in the making. And so for the governor and for any budget leaders at the state to be concerned about the short time they're going to have to fix this, they've had years to fix it, and I continue to ignore the plight of the people and the feedback from the people. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Geithner.
Good morning. A couple of events that I have coming up. Regional Building will be meeting tomorrow, as well as a CCI land use meeting to continue the discussion around land use that has been ongoing since the last session. My colleague spoke well about the CCI conference. It was an opportunity to also build a lot of relationships with other counties across Colorado. And those conversations were very helpful in identifying the way other counties are doing things, what's working for them, and ideas that we can bring back here, as well as working together on things exactly what we're talking about. You know, we attend these CCI meetings, but being able to connect and work together as local governments to make sure that the voice of local governments is heard consistently in Denver is very important. I'll just add one other item. I agree with the concerns about the special session. I did testify on multiple bills. Unfortunately, I heard some things that are very concerning. One was that we had a legislator stand up and say, yes, this is HH repackaged, right after the voters said no to HH, that this was not what they wanted. So that's very concerning to me that the legislature continued to roll forward with what they wanted to do, regardless of the voice of the people who said no. I'm also concerned that the way that this has been done, you know, the legislature constantly pushes down requirements for local governments to fulfill. Some maybe that are things that we agree with, some maybe that they're not, but we're required by law to take care of those things anyway. We call those unfunded mandates because there's no dollars that come with that. So we have to figure out how to come up with dollars to pay for these things that they want us to do. Well, if the legislature would like to see meaningful property tax relief, a big part of that equation would be to stop sending down requirements that we have to figure out how to fund. That is a real concern for us is, you know, we don't live in a vacuum here in El Paso County. We are constantly affected by the choices that our state legislators make. I do want to thank many of our state legislators, in particular Representative Rose Puglisi, who spent a lot of the time on the phone with me talking about what was being proposed and what they were trying to accomplish. Representative Puglisi is a former elected official in a county, and so she has a very good understanding. Really grateful for those who took the time to really connect with us and make sure that they understood what our position was. On the upside for El Paso County residents, I think it's important to say once again, I've said this from here before, but El Paso County residents will see a property tax decrease from this board, and we abide by Tabor, and that means that we won't see those huge jumps from the El Paso specific portion of your property tax. We are glad to be able to take care of that locally and make sure that we are abiding by what our citizens have asked us for, which is low taxes and quality services that are focused on those core services. So I know we all look forward to being able to relay the details of that as we get through the budgeting process and into that certification in just a few weeks here. But thank you, and that's all I have.
Again, very well said, Commissioner Geithner. And, you know, El Paso County continues to I believe, provide that quality service efficiency. And we remain, the El Paso County portion of what you see on your property tax bill remains one of the lowest along the Front Range. And again, we're now the most populous family. So, family, yes, family. We're the most populous county, and that means we're making those tax dollars go further. And we're happy to find new and creative ways to do that. And we'll hear in a bit some of how that is being innovatively used in a couple of our later items. I wanted to just take a couple minutes to just recognize the passing of last night of Henry Kissinger, one of America's greatest diplomats, who continued through many administrations to advise our presidents and our leaders and our how to position America in the way that stood with our founding freedoms. And so the world, not just America, has lost an incredible diplomat who did much for, honestly, the entire world's stability and where we currently find ourselves. I also wanted to thank Commissioner Vanderwerf for attending General Van Herk's retirement this week, and make the point that also that is long time coming for them and that family. They have been, they and many others in our community have been long awaiting the promotions and retirements that have been sitting there waiting to happen for 2 years and held up in political hostage, so to speak. So very grateful that General Van Herk and his family can continue to make their plans. I know they've been excited about that for a very long time. And thank you for representing the commission at that this week. 'Tis the season for lots of events, and your commissioners are dividing and conquering many of those, and some of those have been mentioned, but those will continue to ramp up over the next few weeks. Our calendars are incredibly busy. I wanted to also thank all of my colleagues for representing so well at CCI, that's Colorado Counties, Inc. And Commissioner Geithner had mentioned, making sure that the voices of El Paso County residents are heard. And one of the ways that happens is by the voices of the El Paso County commissioners being heard at Colorado Counties, Inc. and those opportunities to interact with the legislators that were there. I was the commissioner who stayed back this week. And I'm appreciative of all the work that went into my colleagues and many of the administrative staff also connecting with their colleagues at that this week. I think that is all I have today. All right. No other elected officials. We are on to item number 7.
Item number 7 is community service organization reports, and there are none.
Item number 8.
Item number 8 is public comment on items not scheduled on the agenda. This is the public's opportunity to speak on an item that is not scheduled on today's agenda. And Madam Chair, there was no one that signed in ahead of time to speak.
Okay, thank you. Is there anyone in the audience wishing to speak on an item not on the agenda? Excellent. If you would make your way down, and you're welcome to queue up. Introduce yourself, please, for the record, and you'll have 3 minutes. That would be great, please.
I'll try to be quick for 3 minutes. Hi, I'm Renee Sintas. I'm a citizen or a homeowner of many homes in the Cherokee Metropolitan District. First, I want to tell you, because I serve on the board of directors for the fire department out there, the Summerhouse Fire Department. I know what your job is like, and I do not envy you at all, because it's really tough, especially with the tax issue, because you want to make sure that you still supply your employees and everybody with good services, but then the money situation. So I'm hoping when you've deducted your taxes, everybody still gets what they need as employees for the county, because I think you guys do a great job in the county. I don't know if you all know, I think you do, that we have a board position open at the water department over there at Cherokee. And one of the directors resigned, and they can't seem to come to a consensus how to vacate it. They're going to be coming to you if they can't come to resolution. The citizens were blindsided by an email that was sent by, I don't know if it's your attorney or who, about a meeting on the 12th about this. And we thought it was still being handled by our board of directors. In fact, our board of directors didn't know anything about this. We've also been told that you guys are just going to go by the next person candidate that was on the list in the last May election, who is Dennis Daniels, who was previously voted out of office in May of 2023 by the water by significant margin 3-1. I mean, he is now being considered for the reappointment. This decision disregards our democratic process and undermines our collective vote as customers of Cherokee. The Cherokee Water Metro Board plays an essential role in managing our water resources and ensuring that we have access to clean, safe drinking water. The board's decision directly impacts us all, from how much we pay for water to how well our infrastructure is maintained. Dennis Daniels' previous tenure on the board was marked by controversy and dissatisfaction amongst the constituents. His proposed policies were not in line with what we as a community wanted or needed, leading to his decisive removal from office. Reappointing him would be a step back for Cherokee customers and would jeopardize our water management efforts. We need leaders who will listen to us, respect our votes, and work towards solutions that benefit everyone. I had put my name in for the running on it because I was worried he was the only one that was running. But thankfully, they put it out to the citizens, and 4 other citizens put their application in for this. And they're outstanding citizens. One of them's here. And so I was like, yay, I don't have to do this. And they're very motivated. But 2 of the board members there wouldn't even look at their applications. No, they want them. If you were going to vote for the next candidate if you were going to go by the number of people who voted, I also got 4 times the number of votes as Mr. Daniels. The other lady here, she got 30% more than Mr. Daniels in a prior election. I'm just hoping you won't be doing it that way. With our PFAS issue, I'm almost done.
You're fine.
With our PFAS issue, I don't know, I'm sure you know we have a PFAS issue, so now we're really distressed out there about the water quality. And Commissioner Geithner, I was so glad when you said that you're interested in the voice of the people. So, I just came here to try to let you know that us citizens out there are very concerned about this appointment.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
And if I could have our audio booth, make sure that timer is heard in the auditorium. Thank you. Please introduce yourself and sign in.
My name is Jan Cedarberg. I'll put that in there. Oops. Okay. How are you all doing today? I wanted to introduce myself. I'm a former board member at Cherokee Metro District. I was on there, retired after 8 years. I was involved with the pipeline that we put, and now it's being called the Loop, that's going to benefit the whole community and stuff. And I have the knowledge and have been attending the meetings, so I think I would be doing a good job. I just want to introduce myself so you would know who I was when you get the list of the applicants. So I just would like to get back on and continue and help with the PF's problem. And I understand the water, and I've been on the Colorado Springs tour. I was very blessed to go on that and see all the, the projects and everything. So mainly that's what I just wanted to say hello and meet y'all, and thank you very much, and you guys have a good day.
Thank you.
Thank you for the job you do.
Thank you. Is there anyone else wishing to speak on any item not on the agenda? No? Okay, anyone online? Okay, hearing none. I'm going to ask ask our county attorney to clarify something really quickly. We appreciate your being here today and letting us know who you are, introducing yourselves. But I think we might have a little bit of an update on this particular issue for you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Yes, just a really quick update. I did exchange emails with Tracy Ferguson from the Cherokee Metro District Board over the holiday weekend. Her inquiry was about appointing the board potentially appointing a vacancy. Ultimately, that email chain ended with I would need to speak with her attorney. There were a couple of legal questions in it. And then for the board and the public's knowledge, we actually have an executive session where staff will provide legal advice and seek direction from the board on this issue on December 12th.
Okay, thank you very much. And hearing no other members of the public wishing to speak on any item, we will move then to item number 9.
Item number 9 is the called up consent calendar, and there are no items called up.
Item 10.
Item number 10 is a resolution to acknowledge the achievement of accreditation by the Pikes Peak Regional Office of Emergency Management. Andrew Notbaum, Director, Pikes Peak Regional Office of Emergency Management.
Mr. Notbaum.
Call up our
Please do.
PPR OEM staff, please, to join me. I want to just start and say that deeply honored to stand here today and proud as director of the Pikes Peak Regional Office of Emergency Management, a now EMAP accredited organization. This accreditation is a testament to our region's unwavering commitment to disaster management, and it represents a significant milestone since our consolidation. Achieving this accreditation was no small task. It required us to demonstrate compliance in 66 industry-recognized standards, a process that demanded our entire team's coordinated effort and dedication. We underwent a rigorous peer review on an on-site assessment of a team of EMAP assessors. This accreditation underscores our ability to coordinate personnel, resources, and communication across the region for disaster preparedness, response, and recovery. While EMAP is a significant achievement, we see it not as an end, but a stepping stone. We are committed to excellence, and will use this as a benchmark to enhance and refine our program. Most importantly, this would not be possible without the dedication of every member of this PPR OEM staff. In particular, I'd like to recognize Bart Evans, who was our accreditation manager. That is a difficult task, and he saw that task from start to finish. So I want to thank you, Bart, and I want to thank the entire PPR OEM staff. I also want to extend my deep gratitude to all of our partners and our partner agencies, including this board and the people that have supported PPR OEM in its creation till now. You've been instrumental in helping us be successful. While we take a moment to celebrate, we recognize that this work does not stop and that we are committed to upholding the high standards of EMAP and to continually improve our program's operation and readiness. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any other team members wishing to speak right now?
Can I introduce my team
Please
to
do.
you?
I was going to
Yeah.
ask if you would
Okay.
put faces with names for us.
We have Robin Adair, Toby Blanchard, Craig Milroy, Dave Gallagher, Caroline Joy, and Bart Evans. And we have several other members of our team that couldn't make it today. But this is joint city and county employees here representing PPR OEM.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Are there any other comments on this item? Commissioner?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just want to congratulate you on this. Very proud to, I know Stan and I were both on the startup committee that took almost 2 years that helped consolidate both of the city and the county's OEM into this. And we've seen the great successes that have been coming out of this. And, it's that collaboration that, we were talking about earlier. Sometimes we don't see good collaboration statewide or, here and there. And this is one of those great examples that I think the public can be proud seeing that their government entities and leaders coming together to help develop public safety response like you guys provide. And this is a great testament to the work you guys are doing. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Commissioner Vanderwerf?
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. And I'll echo Commissioner Gonzalez's comments. First of all, great job to all of you. And I suppose maybe this is heuristic or kind of circumstantial evidence, but I'll tell you what I feel I have seen prior to the creation of the Regional Office of Emergency Management. And this is not to say we weren't all doing a great job before we were combined, but we had some pretty large emergency challenges, fires and other things going on in the community here. But once we combined, we also had several initiations of what could have been big challenges. And it felt to me like we got on those things so fast that they were in fact prevented from becoming large issues. Now, one of the great things about that is they were not a large issue, right? Some of those were fires that we were able to address. For example, there was another fire in Black Forest that was actually stopped before it turned into another Black Forest major disaster and so forth, and there's other examples of that. The upside of that is that those things that could have been a disaster were not, and I think it's a credit to all of you, but also to the improved organization of a regional office. The downside of that is they only were newsworthy for a single day, instead of really being able to highlight the things that I think you all are actually in fact achieving, which is preventing the big, terrible, nasty newspaper article and harm to homes and harm to citizens. I definitely prefer that over anything else. But I do think, I'm so glad you're getting this, and I do think it is important to recognize what you're doing, because I feel like you guys have truly, honestly prevented some big problems in the county, and, maybe you don't get enough credit for all that you do. So anyway, I'm saying thanks. I know there's many in the community that say thanks. I know my fellow commissioners feel that way, and appreciate all that you're doing, and this is great that you're getting this accreditation. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Commissioner Geithner?
Thank you. Congratulations, and thank you for all of your hard work. I was not on this board when this process began, so also congratulations to my fellow commissioners for the work and the part that they played in that in the beginning. But it's been said very well. It's so important what you do, and when we talk about public safety, we often think about police, right? But what you guys do is a huge part of making sure that our community is safe every day and continues to be. So thank you for your dedication, and congratulations on this achievement.
And Commissioner Geithner, you actually were here though when we appointed the new director. So that's pretty significant, and has the ability to really set the course going forward as well. So I just wanted to say I had the opportunity to be at your opening session when the external review committee came through and visited, and boy, did they have quite the checklist of things to, and not just a checklist, not just a binary yes or no, but things to really dig in and look at how your office does what you do. It was very impressive, very, very thorough, and the expertise level that came from across the country to come and evaluate little old Pikes Peak regional OEM. It was humbling with the great reviews that you all got and the way you succeeded in getting this accreditation. Congratulations, Bart, and the entire team for stewarding through that process. You've heard us talk earlier this morning about providing excellent quality customer service to our citizens in a way that is as efficient as we can do with as few resources as possible. You all are a shining example of that, and I'm impressed with what you're able to do. I'm impressed with how you interact. It would be easy to look at your manuals of how everything needs to go and your checklists and stay super focused on that. And while you do that, you also interact with our public and in a way that helps them navigate prevention efforts and stay safe and keep their families safe and their neighbors safe. So I'm greatly appreciative of the exponential work that you all do, and I am excited to pass this resolution today. With that being said, are there any other members of the public wishing to speak on this item? And none online. Okay. I am ready for a motion.
I would like to make a motion to pass the resolution to acknowledge the achievement of accreditation by the Pikes Peak Regional Office of Emergency Management.
Second.
That has been moved and seconded. Commissioner Vanderwerf,
Aye.
Commissioner Gonzalez.
Aye.
Commissioner Geithner.
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. That passes 4-0 with Commissioner Williams excused. Would you all like us to take a brief recess for a photo?
Please.
Okay,
Yeah.
we're in recess.
Right. Go up here, you think?
Congratulations.
I will call this November 30th Board of County Commissioners meeting back to order, and we are on item number 11.
Item number 11 is a resolution to recognize and appropriate general fund emergency fund balance funding in the amount of $1,900,000 to the General Fund Emergency Response 2023 budget for Natural Resource Conservation Service Emergency Watershed Protection Projects. Nikki Simmons, Chief Financial Officer.
Ms. Simmons.
Good morning, Commissioners. Nikki Simmons, Chief Financial Officer. I'm here this morning to ask for your approval to appropriate just shy of $2 million from the emergency reserve to be a match for our National Resource Conservation Services grant to address the flooding that happened this summer. El Paso County was lucky enough to be able to work with the National Resource Conservation Services program through the Emergency Watershed Protection Program funds in order to get a grant. This board has already appropriated that federal grant funding when they accepted the grant 2 weeks ago. And so this is simply a resolution to appropriate the county match to that. It's a 25% match of the construction costs. And so I'll go through that here in a second. As you're all fully aware, this damage to our roads and our parks infrastructure happened with some historic rains that happened between June 8th and June 23rd of this year. We also have approval for FEMA funding for other parts of the damage because it was a nationally declared disaster. But these damages are considered more exigent and need to be addressed earlier, and that's when this NRCS money kicks in. And so this is specifically for protection of the transportation infrastructure and residences in the parks areas along Black Squirrel Creek and Brackett Creek and Fountain Creek. And so the total overall project budget for these projects is $8.49 million. The construction costs are $7.6 million, and that's where we have a 75-25% split. 75% of the money comes from NRCS, and then 25% is the expected match from El Paso County. In addition, the technical assistance, which is contract management, engineering, and design, is covered 100% by NRCS. And so what we're asking today is $1.9 million be appropriated from the emergency reserve. These projects are going to be split between our Department of Public Works and our Parks Department. Approximately $5.5 million through Department of Public Works and $2.9 million through our Parks Office. Our Departments of Public Works projects are the Ellicott Highway, Garrett Road, and J.D. Johnson Road. And in Parks, they're working on Willow Springs Ponds and Duckwood Park. I have a couple of maps here to show you where we're working on. If you have any questions about these, our Department of Public Works Director, Kevin Maston, and our Department of Community Services Director, Todd Martz, is here if you have any specific questions about these projects. At this time, we're still looking at construction costs and plans. This grant does have a very short time frame. These funds have to be expended by June of 2024 in order to be eligible for NRCS emergencies. And so this is pictures that our Public Works Department provided for the Ellicott Highway, and you can see the damage that was done there. Garrett Road, this is a picture that was taken in June with the flooding. J.D. Johnson Road is the third project for Public Works. And then the Willow Springs Pond, you can see there's numerous items that are going to be addressed to this pond. And then more pictures for the actual damage back taken in June. And then the Duckwood Park, talking about the creek repair for the creek bank and the ditch gate. So the board action I'm requesting today is to appropriate $1.9 million from the emergency reserve that this board has set up over the last several of years to make us ready to respond to things like this. And so that emergency reserve right now is funded at $9.23 million. We're requesting to spend $1.9 million of it as this match. Are there any questions for me or for either of other directors here to talk to this?
Commissioner Vanderwerf.
Yes, thank you for the presentation, and I look forward to supporting this allocation of funds. But I'm just really, grateful that 6 years ago, and Lajinos and I certainly remember this, but all the commissioners are part of this. We went into a process of robusting our emergency funds, our reserve funds for a variety of different purposes. And we were able to do that without raising taxes while investing in new road equipment and so forth, and did all of this together. But we are in such an excellent position here in El Paso County today with regard to reserves, including this particular reserve fund, so that when problems like this actually come up, we are in a financial position to respond to it. So I just am grateful to the staff and my fellow commissioners that we had a real intent on doing this, and I know that we are in a fantastic place today with regard to reserve funds. So this is something I think we can afford to do. It's appropriate for the citizens of the county. We've got to get these roads back up into working shape, into a place, into a condition where they can be used, in the long term in the future. So thank you for the presentation, and I have an interest in supporting this.
Commissioner Geithner.
Thank you. So many of those photos are of areas that impacted residents in my district. And so this is so important to get those. I really appreciate the work that it was a team effort from so many people to get through that entire emergency. Public Works for responding quickly and getting roads open in a temporary manner. But now we have the ability to go in and really get the permanent solutions done on this. So I am supportive of this and grateful for the work of this board to make sure that we had those funds available for emergencies such as this, and as to be able to get that match and be able to get these things fixed. Thank you.
Commissioner Gonzalez.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And so I appreciate all the hard work on this. I'll be greatly supportive of this. We saw the teamwork with the great work from the budget, parks, public works, everybody coming together and making sure that we're addressing the issues related to our residents when it happened. And we made sure we were funding it. And so this is allowing us the part that it's matching. So the return on investment on this is amazing and definitely worthwhile for us to do. And I'll go back to Commissioner VanderWerf's comments 6.5 years ago when we first joined the board, and we're going into our last year. And I do start getting asked, it was like, well, what are some of the things you're proud of as being a commissioner? And I tell people very honestly, two of the things that really stand out were support to our transportation roads money, and the fact that when we started, we have statutory, Tabor reserves. There's secondary reserves that the commissioners have, the county has. We were at $0 for this type of emergency reserves 6.5 years ago. And the fact that we got this up with, and everybody knows, we are very fiscally responsible county, getting it to the position where now, a tough, difficult summer, $1.9 million, and we have the money to do so. Because of smart decisions and recommendations from our staff and from our county commissioners. And so I just reiterate how well I think the county has been doing to make sure that we're taking care of the needs of our residents, and this is a great example of it. Thank you.
My colleagues have said it well. I want to thank it is a team effort. So several of those team members are in the room here, our Public Works Director, our Parks Director, and then, yes, Sunny, our Deputy County Administrator, Brett, all of your team. And then, Nikki, you and your staff are exceptional at hearing the direction and putting that into a long-term strategic approach that then puts us in a position to not only be able to respond like this by using emergency funds, but also for ensuring that as other grant opportunities come up, more and more those are requiring a percentage match, and that we have positioned ourselves to get the largest bang for the buck and be able to apply for those things that will help us be long-term, strategic, and permanent fixes as opposed to Band-Aid fixes. So thank you very much. And I am also looking forward to approving this today. But before we move on from that, are there any members of the public wishing to speak on this item? None online. None in the room. Okay. Think we are ready for a motion.
Madam Chair, I'd be more than happy to move to approve item 11.
Second.
That has been moved and seconded. Commissioner Vanderwerf,
Aye.
Commissioner Gonzalez.
Aye.
Commissioner Geithner, and Commissioner Geithner.
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. That passes 4-0 with Commissioner Williams excused. Thank you. Item number 12.
Item number 12 is department and committee reports, non-action items, and there are none.
Item 13.
Item number 13 is the addendum, and there are no addendums today.
Item 14.
Item number 14 is the executive session, and there is no request for executive session.
We are adjourned.